I have to ask, what's with the turban?
It's a traditional piece from my culture.
It suits you.
It really does.
She thought mocking a waitress in a foreign language would make her look powerful, but she had no idea that the silent girl holding the tray understood every word, and was about to change the billionaire's life forever. The night the world watched a billionaire fall silent began with laughter. Crystal chandeliers shimmered above polished marble floors in one of the city's most exclusive rooftop restaurants. Cameras flashed near the entrance as business elites and socialites arrived in tailored suits and glittering gowns. At the center of it all sat Kareem Al-Masri, a self-made billionaire known for his sharp mind, cold discipline, and an empire that stretched from real estate to tech investments across the Middle East. But tonight, the spotlight wasn't on his achievements. It was on his girlfriend. Vanessa Laurent was beauty shaped into ambition. Tall, perfectly styled, her confidence carried a hint of cruelty that most people mistook for charm. She leaned toward Kareem, her manicured fingers resting lightly on his wrist as if claiming ownership. Honestly, she whispered in Arabic, her accent exaggerated but clear enough, look at her. They really hire anyone these days. The her she referred to was the waitress standing quietly beside their table. Amina. She couldn't have been older than 24. Her uniform was simple, her posture straight, her expression calm. Dark hair tied neatly back. Observant eyes that missed nothing. She held the silver tray steadily, though Vanessa's words were not subtle. Kareem frowned slightly. What did you say? Vanessa smirked. Nothing important. Just saying service should match the standard of the guests. Then she looked directly at Amina and switched back to Arabic, assuming ignorance. Smile properly. You look like you don't belong here. The surrounding guests chuckled politely, unsure but entertained by Vanessa's tone. Amina didn't react. She gently placed the sparkling water on the table and stepped back. But her silence wasn't confusion. It was restraint. You see, Amina had grown up in a small coastal town where her father, a professor of classical Arabic literature, had raised her on poetry and philosophy. She had memorized verses from Al-Mutanabbi before she turned 10. When her father passed away, debts swallowed their home. Her mother fell ill. University dreams faded. And so Amina worked, mornings at a bookstore, nights at the restaurant, fluent not only in Arabic, but English and French as well. She understood every syllable Vanessa had spoken. And every insult. Vanessa continued, unaware. Maybe they should test intelligence before hiring. Some people just serve better than they think. Kareem shifted uncomfortably. He didn't enjoy public humiliation, even if it wasn't directed at him. That's enough, he muttered. Vanessa laughed. Relax. She doesn't understand. That was when Amina finally spoke. Her voice was soft but steady. Clear. Fluent. Elegant. In fact, ma'am, she replied in refined classical Arabic, I understand perfectly. And I assure you, dignity does not depend on the uniform one wears. The air changed. The laughter died instantly. Vanessa's smile froze. Kareem slowly turned toward Amina, his expression transforming from mild annoyance to stunned disbelief. The Arabic she spoke wasn't casual dialect. It was eloquent. Polished. The kind reserved for scholars and diplomats. Vanessa blinked rapidly. You speak Arabic? Amina met her gaze calmly. Fluently. The surrounding tables had gone silent now, curiosity replacing mockery. Vanessa's cheeks flushed red. Well, that's surprising. Amina offered a polite nod. Knowledge often is. Kareem's eyes didn't leave her. There was something in her composure, a quiet strength he hadn't seen in years. Not in business meetings. Not in charity galas. Not even in Vanessa. Vanessa tried to laugh it off. It was just a joke. Amina's response was gentle but firm. Respect is rarely funny. That sentence hit harder than any insult. Kareem leaned back in his chair, studying Amina as though seeing her for the first time, not as staff, but as someone equal. Perhaps more. Vanessa sensed the shift immediately. Jealousy flickered in her eyes. The power dynamic she had relied on, beauty, social standing, dominance, had cracked in a matter of seconds. But the night wasn't over. And neither was the lesson. Chapter 2. After Amina stepped away, the atmosphere at the table never quite recovered. Vanessa kept talking, but Kareem wasn't listening. His thoughts replayed Amina's words. Dignity does not depend on the uniform one wears. He had built his empire from nothing. Slept in warehouses. Negotiated contracts at 20 with men twice his age. He understood struggle. Somewhere along the path to wealth, though, he had allowed himself to surround his life with appearances. Vanessa represented appearance. Amina represented substance. When the dinner ended, Kareem made an unusual decision. He asked to speak with the restaurant manager. Minutes later, Amina was called to the private lounge. She walked in cautiously, unsure whether she was about to be reprimanded. Kareem stood when she entered, a gesture Vanessa had never seen him offer staff before. "I wanted to apologize," he said quietly. "For what happened?" Amina shook her head slightly. "You have nothing to apologize for." "I do," he replied. "Silence can sometimes be agreement." His honesty surprised her. Vanessa, standing behind him with folded arms, couldn't contain herself. "This is ridiculous, Kareem. You're apologizing to a waitress over nothing?" Kareem didn't turn around. "It wasn't nothing." The room grew tense. Vanessa's voice sharpened. "So now you're impressed because she quoted poetry?" Amina answered calmly, "Respect doesn't require admiration. Only fairness." Kareem finally looked at Vanessa, truly looked at her. And for the first time, he saw insecurity behind her arrogance. He realized something painful. A person secure in themselves doesn't need to belittle others. That night, the relationship he once thought glamorous felt hollow. Vanessa left early, furious. Kareem stayed. He sat with Amina for nearly an hour, not as a billionaire and waitress, but as two human beings sharing stories. He learned about her father. Her unfinished education. Her dreams of opening a cultural center where language and literature could empower underprivileged youth. "Why haven't you continued?" he asked. "Because survival came first," she replied simply. Her answer echoed in his mind long after he left. Over the following weeks, Kareem returned to the restaurant, not publicly, not with cameras. Quiet visits. Conversations. Respectful distance. He offered to sponsor her education. She refused at first. "I don't want charity," she said. "It's not charity," he responded. "It's investment. In someone who values knowledge more than power." Eventually, she accepted, on one condition: she would repay him when she could. 2 years later, Amina stood on a stage delivering a keynote speech, in flawless Arabic and English, at the grand opening of a cultural foundation funded anonymously by Kareem's company. A foundation that wasn't named after him. It was named after her father. The audience applauded as she spoke about dignity, opportunity, and the quiet strength of those underestimated. In the crowd, Kareem listened, not as a savior, but as someone who had learned humility. Vanessa? She faded from headlines within months, her social media glamour unable to sustain itself without substance. But Amina built something lasting. And Kareem rebuilt himself. Because sometimes, the most powerful language isn't wealth. It's respect. And the night a billionaire's girlfriend mocked a waitress became the night a silent girl's fluency rewrote every definition of worth. If you've ever been underestimated, remember this: the world may judge your uniform, but your voice can redefine your value.